This is your girl, Kimberly Harris. Welcome to the Bitter Greens podcast. Hey y'all, I'm back. I took a couple of weeks off, mainly because of what we're going to discuss today. I really had to take an inventory of my habits and my routines. And the reason why I say this is because during the particular time I took a break, I was actually on travel and I'd planned to be on travel and I planned to stick to my routine. I thought I was on it. I packed 2 bags, one for the local stay and then one for out of town travel, which had a little bit of warmer weather. So I had 2 suitcases. I packed my work clothes so I could be ready, top up for any Zoom WebEx meetings that I have for work. I packed my lounge clothes. I packed my workout clothes. I even took my barbell and my dumbbells with me with, the expectation that I was going to keep my work and workout routine while I was out of town. I went to the grocery store. I was really just trying to set myself up for success because I had been doing a really good job at consistency with working out, eating well, and then being disciplined, with my schedule. What I did not account for, and I don't know how your families do it, but I was able to travel. We got there, we got back safely and COVID free. So I was definitely happy about that. And then we're together as a family and social distancing where we could, and being mindful of keeping each other safe. And I don't know how your family operates, but if I'm ever in a city and I have a family member in that city, best believe I am not getting a hotel room and I'm going to stay at the relative's house. I love this because it really does give, and my love language is quality time. So it's very easy for me to love this, right? But it's just this togetherness that you wouldn't have if you're going back and forth from a hotel. You wake up together, you stay up late together, all the things, right? And so that's what happened. The other part is that we have a hierarchy, right? So depending on where you fall in the hierarchy will determine whether or not you get a bed. if you're going to be sleeping on the bed or you're going to be on the couch or you're going to be some other space that is not a bed. So it matters how old you are. It matters if you're married. So those things are what determines where you're going to sleep. And so where I fell in the hierarchy landed me on the couch. I did not account for me being on the couch and staying up much later than I usually would, not getting adequate sleep, to totally throw off my routine. So what was happening, or what ended up happening, was because I wasn't going to bed on time, I wasn't going to couch on time, and then I wasn't getting adequate sleep when I was going to couch, I ended up waking up later than I typically would, which meant that my workout was, backed up a little bit. And then I'm walking the dog a little later, and then I'm rushing to get onto work calls, etc. And so it just threw me off. So I ended up not even logging into my regular 7:00 workout classes. Now I did do a good thing, right? I did swap those workout classes with a walk, a run, or Taibo. So I didn't totally drop the ball in terms of my workout, but that barbell that I packed and those dumbbells and those bands that I packed did not get used. But I was just totally thrown off. So this just gave me the opportunity to really do an inventory of my habits. And according to Psychology Today, habit formation is the process by which behaviors become automatic. Habits can form without a person intending to acquire them, but they also can be deliberately cultivated or eliminated to better suit one's personal goals. So if you've been the type to use the excuse you can't teach an old dog new tricks, you can let that go because that's not true. You can teach an old dog new tricks, and you also can get rid of behaviors. The other thing that I saw in terms of research, and I don't know if you guys have heard this, but you can develop a habit in 60 days if you do it consistently. So the research is actually contradictory. Some research supported the idea that you could create a habit in 60 days and other research did not support that. So it's a toss up as it relates to the timeline. But the point is that you do have the ability to create new healthy habits. And some of the things that we do in our day to day that we just think is our routine is actually a habit that we form. So for example, during the week, I listen to NPR every morning and I don't even think about it. So some of these routines are second nature. some folks smoke a cigarette, how you drive to work every day. I don't know if you've done this before, but I've driven a whole course and was like, I don't know how I got home because I don't remember any of it. But, that has been a habit and a routine that I can literally do it with my eyes wide shut and have done it. Not necessarily safe, but just giving some examples in terms of some of those healthy or unhealthy habits that we acquire in time. And so it's really up to us to do that inventory. What is serving us well and what habits do we need to kick? And then the other thing that made me chuckle in this, because after not only did I do the inventory, I kind of did a reflection of the week. I debriefed with myself to say, okay, all right, so what did you do well? You went to the grocery store, you bought healthy food to eat, blah, blah, blah. That was great. But where are those areas? And I don't know if you've done this before, but have you claimed victim to something that you orchestrated? Like you are the person who made this happen and then somehow you're the victim. So let me give you a couple of examples. Man or woman, you text your ex, right? You text your ex, hey, big head, how you doing? I've been thinking about you, in my Jill Scott voice. You're lonely, right? It's a pandemic. So you reach out, but you know that you guys broke up for a reason, right? And you know he or she isn't this or that, but you reach out anyway. You get back together and it doesn't work out and you're surprised. I cannot believe, he or she did X, Y, and Z. First of all, why can't you believe it? It's happened every single time before. So why are you surprised? And then 2, they gave you exactly what you asked for. You sent a hey big head text message out knowing you were fishing, you were hunting, knowing what that was gonna get you, and you got it. You orchestrated that. You are not the victim. And then if we want to get deeper, let's look at the track record. Is it unique to this one particular ex? Probably not. Do you act like this with all of your exes when you're in a time of loneliness? It's debatable, but let's be honest with ourselves, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. The other example is food. The holidays roll around. Well, let's not even just talk about Thanksgiving and Christmas. We got all the holidays. We got Easter. We got 4th of July. We got our birthdays that we consider a holiday. We have all of these things that we celebrate, right? And we're not really starving for anything, pardon the pun, but we're not. So when the holidays come and you decide to have a cheat day that turns into a cheat week, that turns into a cheat month, and then you're surprised that your pants don't fit. So all that work you put in on those 7 a.m. exercise classes or those nights that you got up and you were sweating to the oldies or whatever it is that you do. And now here you are gaining 10 pounds in 2 to 3 weeks because it's the holidays. But you mad at Miss Shirley for making that pie she make every single year. Nobody told you to eat the whole pie. You could have taken a slice with you, or that plate you took home should have been just enough for the dinner and not the leftovers, because that's what really messes you up. So it's really about adjustments, right? In terms of how do we swap out our bad habits and replace them with healthy habits, and then be consistent with that, and then take accountability for the things that we orchestrate or the times that we might trip and fall, but we get back up. But the idea is that we can't afford to revert to the bad habits or our old ways and routines that didn't serve us. So the question here is really that I want you guys to think about is, what are our habits? What are your habits that are healthy and that you should be proud of and that you should continue on and being consistent with those habits? Are there new habits and routines that you need to create to help you live the life that you want? And then are there some bad habits? Like I could not drink wine during the weekdays, and I try not to, but every now and then I'll have a glass of wine. I'm tired when I wake up the next day. So I know that that's not good for me being productive. Or I eat too much. My calories in are more than my calories out. And I've basically washed a workout that I've done for the day. So, what are those bad behaviors or bad habits that we have that we need to get rid of? Do you smoke? Do you have a negative attitude on a regular basis? So really taking the inventory for you and being honest with you and the accountability about those bad habits that we should kick and kick for good. And then being consistent with that. And then if we do revert to those behaviors, acknowledge it and get back on. Is when we fall off the wagon and stay there, have a whole month of of a cheat day, that's when the damage is more detrimental to what we've designed for our lives. That is the ultimate question that I'm going to leave you with is, does my habits and routines align with the goals and dreams that I have for myself? And if they don't, what am I going to do about it? Thank you guys for joining me this week. If you like the podcast, please follow me on Spotify. You can also subscribe on iTunes. I am also on Instagram at bittergreens1. So if you like quotes and want to drop comments about the episodes, you can meet me there. I look forward to talking with you guys next week. Now go win the day. Don't let the day win you.